let's see. Now we're gonna get started on the theme and variations by Llobet. Let me go ahead and find. Is this it? Maybe. No. No, I think we did 6, right? Which one is this? Okay, this is 5. So the next one is going to be 6. Oh, let me give you guys the map. Oops. Oh, no, I don't know if I like that. I want to say this is it right here. Oh, okay. So actually, I think this is Intermezzo. Huh. We. James the Frenchman is back. Let's see. Actually, let's look up. I actually don't know what this is. Intermezzo. Okay, so it's just a little. Well, it's an intermission, but it's I want to say. Llobet's Spanish. Wow, I'm having all kinds of brain farts today. Yeah, he's Spanish. Okay. Let's see. A short independent instrumental composition. Usually, yeah. This is just an intermission. Which, yeah. That makes sense. Okay, cool. So we're going to listen to the little intermission. And then I actually want to talk about and explore why he puts an intermission there. And also kind of like what the intermission does so far. So we'll actually listen to this. Well, it seems like the next piece is like fast as hell. So, okay, well, we'll just give it a listen. Figure out what's going on. Okay, hold up one sec. I totally forgot to put the link in the chat. That was Mavi. Here you go, for those who wish to look along. Okay, so first big thing for me is this is the first major. It's in the parallel major key, which is interesting little intermission because it's like the most drastic kind of like tonal change we've had. It still seems like it follows the harmonic structure kind of. Let's see. There's E. Oh, it seems like it divulges a little bit, especially in the second half. What kind of chords do we got there? So that looks like that's another B. So it looks like 1 5 for the first two measures, and then 1. Yeah, it looks like 1 5 with a little bit of And this isn't necessarily supposed to be like heavily influenced, I don't think, by the other variations. Like I don't think it follows the same constraints either. Yeah, so that's going to there. Oh, and it has some G naturals. That's interesting. Especially in the key of E major. That looks... Wait, so C, G sharp. Oh, okay. That's fine. C, G sharp, D sharp. Yeah, so that's a fully diminished chord, it seems like, in measure 6. Okay. So this kind of gives us a little bit of a breather because variation 6 was very quick and it was a pretty virtuosic piece. It had we talked the last time about how the contour of it is very much like the main thing on this. The contour going up the arpeggios and then like kind of escalating the thing until it kind of like goes down and winds it back down. So we actually get really high, I think. Yeah. So we get about to the 12th fret, which is a pretty high. It's the highest E on most guitars unless you have like a 24 fret like electric or something. And then it goes all the way down to the lowest possible E. And it does it in just one measure, I believe. Let me check. Yeah, it only... Oh, no, my bad. Well, it does it for both endings. So it goes all the way up, ending 1, and 2 measures to go all the way down, just to lead back up. And then for the second ending, it goes all the way up, and then it starts... Yeah, it starts going back down, but then the texture kind of changes a little bit, or the feel of it, because then you start getting these like pretty dominating chords for variation 6. Got a little sidetracked with that, but this one, by comparison, is it's a lot slower. And how do I describe it? It's a lot more kind of like just dulce, right? And it plays with like some of the chromatic tones. So I think this is where the G comes in the first measure. It's doing this kind of thing where it's like... You know, it's very kind of cheeky. It's a fun kind of sounding little motif, which is nice because it's in major, so it's already kind of happy. And then so this is very much like a little breath of fresh air, is what I think it's going for. And then let's give it another listen, actually. Okay. And another thing I noticed is that the lines are very much out of the way of each other. So they kind of stagger the rhythmic lines a little bit. So it's almost like there's only two voices, and there's kind of like a syncopated accompaniment that comes in just to fill in the harmony without getting, you know, too much in the way. Because sometimes, especially if it's like closer, so I wouldn't say this is like a super close chord, but this is like a really close chord to where if you start adding a bunch of voices, it can start really muddying the texture. And then even though you hear the harmony, you don't really hear the lines. And that's like what you got to worry about when you're thinking about texture is like, can you hear the lines the way you want them to be heard? You know what I mean? So if you have a top line that you really want to bring out, you probably don't want it like two voices sitting right on top of it, like really close. Likewise, if you have a bass line, you probably want it somewhat to be present, maybe not overbearing, but especially with like lower notes, if you just kind of chunk it and use like closed voicings, um, it could really, but it could just really make up for a muddy texture. And then one of the ways you can get around this, or Llobet kind of gets around this. I mean, he wasn't really in danger of it, but it's just staggered right here. So you hear the melody line and then the accompaniment, and it creates like a nice little groove. The division's pretty consistent, and what I like is it goes up pretty high. I want to say, what is this, G sharp? Yeah, so it goes all the way up the neck. Very similar to the last one we were just looking at, number 6. So contour is kind of big too, because it kind of just goes up and goes down. Yeah, and it kind of just has like a swaying contour, which is really nice. So that's what we got for an intermezzo. Let's go ahead. Well, we'll write some of that down just so we have it for reference. How should we phrase this? Syncopated. Syncopated just meaning not on the beat. Syncopated. I don't want to say midline. Syncopated third voice to not get in the way of other voices. And this isn't just like a good what is it? This isn't just like a good theme and variations device. This is like a very good textural device in general. Um, yeah, if you do this, like I think your arrangements will come out clear, and that's always good, right? Let's see. Nope, that's OBS. What am I looking for? Here we go. So let's go ahead and give. Now this one, yeah, that intermission didn't last long enough because this one's fast as hell. Awesome. So hopefully, while hearing these, you guys can you guys after this long, you might be able to start hearing similarities, even if you can't put your fingers on it. And a lot of it is just the harmony. So I just want to look at the chords because there's a lot going on here, right? But I think if you just break it down by its parts, it's really not super complicated, or it's not, yeah, it's a lot more accessible. So first one, E minor. We've talked about that. Second one, B, back to E minor. This one's a D, G. It's following the exact same harmonic progression that we've been following. Just at the beginning of everything. And so this one isn't monophonic because like you're kind of doing your own thing. But on one hand, or because there's like chords and stuff, and they're kind of voice leading in their own little unique way. But this is a very much hands-off accompaniment to the point where it's kind of similar to like a monophonic texture, I would say. So, for instance, I think of monophonic textures, which just means there's only one voice going on, right? Kind of like I would if I was thinking of a story, and that story would have like one central character who like kind of dominates the plot line, right? Like everybody else is kind of there and they're kind of supporting it, but at the end of the day, what we really care about is the one plot line that he has. And I'm trying to think of an example. Oh no, I don't want to say that. I don't know. That might piss people off. So, in my opinion, this is just my opinion, but if you guys have seen Bleach, I think the story, and I haven't seen all of it, so I could be wrong, but from what I've seen, the story is very main character focused to the point where it feels like the other ones kind of get neglected. But it's not necessarily the worst thing because that's like the intention is that one character. And so I kind of feel like that's what it is. Like there's other characters going on, but it's kind of just to create a canvas for that main kind of melody line or that main anime protagonist to be able to flourish. Oh, there's a new arc for that? I'm actually kind of excited. I mean, the hype scenes were hype in Bleach. They were really good. And then the music was really good too. So, I mean, I'm not like a Bleach hater. I just thought the story, it didn't really get me. But then again, what do I know? I'm like a One Piece fan. Like, they still haven't found it. So. Let's look at what the melody line is doing. because it's kind of following a sequence, I would want to say. So it's doing a lot of that repeated note pull off stuff, which kind of helps. It also helps technically because the music in the trailer was on point. Yeah, the music in Bleach is always on point. It's insane. Like the Espada themes are just fire. In fact, like at some point, like I'll put it on like a to-do list or something of things that we can do. Like we should probably look at some of those because I was thinking of doing like I have like what is it? I've always wanted to like get really good at like flamenco style guitar and not just like rasgueado and like you know the Andalusian cadence, but like actually like the rhythms and stuff. But I think that would be a really cool kind of like way we could make like maybe a more traditional arrangement of the Bleach songs, or we can just look at what they're doing versus like what a traditional flamenco kind of thing would be, or a more traditional, I should say. So that'd be pretty sick. But so what's going on here? It's got that little. It's almost like a technical motif because it's like just a technique you use throughout the entire thing. And it's kind of weird. So the line seems like it's kind of doing what it does, but over the length of the first and second part. You know what I mean? So for instance, so this kind of goes down, and then it goes back up, and then it goes down, right? And that's just in this measure. But if you look at it, this kind of goes down, and then back up, and then back down, and then back up. And it's got a very like lilty kind of nice and easy contour that kind of takes us around. And then, isn't there like a big leap at some point? Oh yeah, like yeah, especially between like right here and measure 4 of the variation. The last note is D, and then you get to 5, and then it's like all the way. It like jumps 2 octaves. So for this one, I would say we could look for idiomatic guitar techniques that create musical devices. Musical devices that can develop a melody. Maybe that. What is the word? Yeah, I would say it can develop a melody. It's a little sonata allegro, but oops. I actually don't need this right there. I need this over here. Oh, why? Oh, okay. All right, cool. Let's go ahead and look at variation 8. Oh, actually, ah, yeah, we'll go ahead and look at variation 8, and then I think variation 9 will be pretty quick, and that gives us a pretty good amount of time to start the second variation, get it up and going. All right. So it's all on harmonics, which is a really nice kind of textural change from the busyness that was going on. Harmonics are a lot more low key. They're a lot more bright, but they're actually kind of warm too. It's weird. What I want to know is, why is he going with the low A right here over what is pretty much an E minor arpeggio? Let me give that another listen real quick. Oh, actually, you know what I just realized about this notation we got going on right here? So, oh man, I sometimes reading guitar music is a pain in the ass because like nobody has agreed upon what the proper like notation for harmonics are. So I do it a completely different way. I'll write the actual note and then I'll like write in Roman numerals above the staff where I want that note played. So if I want an E at the 12th fret on the high E string, I would write the actual sounding pitch and then I would put the fret where I want you to play it. So it's kind of like, okay. So this makes it really hard to like analyze. So this is actually, even though it says A, it's an E and it's going up the E minor thing. I thought it sounded weird. I was like, this doesn't sound like that harmonically complex. And that's why you only have, you know, the main open strings as notes. But what I would say is pretty straightforward. This is kind of like just outlining the harmony with a different technique, just like the other one kind of, but with a more I would say it's more pronounced than just, you know, simple kind of pull off legato. What can we say about the contour? Oh, you know what? I didn't even notice this. I don't know when this. Yeah, this is in common time too. Also, so they added a beat for this, which is pretty interesting. So for the contour, it kind of waves a lot, I want to say. It actually looks like it explores kind of like different contour things at different parts of the phrases. So if you look right here, it goes up and it creates a little arc. And then it's back down and it goes up and then it starts over. So what can we say about, oh, so this one kind of goes up, kind of stays in the same place, goes up, lowers a little bit, but this one's pretty contained contour wise. And then this one has like this kind of high point that it's willing to land on. And then it kind of limits itself to that, which I think is pretty cool. I think if you guys like watch Adam Neely or something, you know, the big thing he says is repetition legitimizes, which is like huge in music, but also like for theme and variations, that's kind of the point, right? It's just about what you repeat. And so I think if you have this little line right here and it's like coming up and that's like the high point, that could be another way to bring out the original melody with what am I trying to say? It, we talked about like how we would bring out the melody by adding other stuff around it without making it too obscure. You're kind of like, wait, what's even going on? Like why is all this stuff around it? I can't really see it too much. Well, this is like one of the way we talked about keeping it consistent in like a rhythmic place so that you kind of hear it consistently. But I think contour wise, if that's also like the highest note that you have, even if it doesn't appear that often, as long as that's consistently like this is the highest note, this is the highest note, I think that would be a good way. So I'm actually going to find that little line we wrote. Consistent. Yeah, consistent placing of original melody note and variation, either in rhythm, contour. You could also probably do tone or articulation as well. I mean, I haven't personally seen it done. Not that I've like looked into it extensively, but I think if there's any like way that you're just like, okay, this note is different, this note is different, it really stands out. All right, cool. Let's see. We're gonna go to variation 9, and then we're gonna get started on our own arrangement. See if we can. I don't know if we're gonna finish variation 2 today, but we're gonna get through. Hopefully, we'll get through outlining the skeleton of it. All right. Okay, so this one's actually pretty awesome. I forgot about this one, but this is the left hand only variation. So I would say this is the how would I describe this one? Well, so it does a couple things that we've already talked about in regards to like, so let's just go back real quick. So there's idiomatic guitar technique, and I think this creates a very specific tone. Yeah. Because legato on the guitar has a very specific tone. You might be able to, maybe not. I can't really see how personally, but I don't think you can really imitate it too easily without just doing the actual thing. And so I would say this is a really cool penultimate variation just because it's pretty virtuosic. Like, you gotta have your legato on point to be doing this. So I think the instrument comes into mind when thinking about this variation. And we were talking earlier about like, okay, like how do we escalate the stakes in the piece? Like, how do we, you know what I mean? Like, how does the story get to like a climax kind of thing. And I think what's cool about this is like if you play this on like, or yeah, if you play this on like piano or anything, it's not necessarily super hard, right? Because it's just one line, and I won't say it's not like, it is pretty quick, but it's not like the quickest variation we've seen on this, anyways. But what really gets it is like, it's just a monophonic texture. You can only use one hand, and that's the game. And yeah, I think that's because it's like almost like an extra musical thing. It's just our knowledge of how the guitar works, and just seeing it done is like, whoa, that guy's only using, or girl, that person's only using like one hand. That's pretty insane. So I don't know how I would, maybe virtuosic. What's virtuosic variation for clout? That sounds like I'm saying it's bad. It's not. Virtuosic variation is intense. I don't know how to word this to where in like musical terms. Um Variation that brings out a hard technique. Well, we kind of already have that. That can develop, or okay, I'm just gonna expand on this one. So idiomatic guitar techniques that create musical devices that can develop, or be virtuosic on given instrument. And actually, I'm gonna start citing these just so I like can always go back and be like, oh, okay. Llobet, I'm gonna say Llobet 9. And then there was another one we had too. I think it was just the previous one, right? 8 and 9, yeah. Alright, cool. Yeah, I think this is. And so, once again, despite the technical difficulties of this one in particular, I would say that just outlines the chords in terms of compositionally. So you got your D right here. Oh, this is cool. It seems like it's using kind of some open string licks. You got your G right here. D, E minor. Yeah, and it's even got the thing where it likes to go all the way up and all the way back down. Because, like, most of the time, so if you have a polyphonic instrument, like guitar or piano, or like harpsichord or something, organ, and you're only playing single line melodies, if you're playing solo single line melodies, like if you're the only person playing, it could be hard to match the usual appeal of the instrument, right? Because generally speaking, right, like I like the sound of the guitar. I like to just play single line melodies on guitar. But in terms of like what is technically capable and stuff, instruments like violin or even cello or saxophone, they're gonna have a lot more range of what they can pull off melodically. You know what I mean? So like for instance, like you can't really do vibrato on a piano, right? But you can play a crap ton of notes, right? And so that's why the piano is like the what is it? It's the instrument you go to essentially if you're gonna play like something like a concerto, where you essentially need to simulate an orchestra which has all these notes, right? Or for guitar, you can do like vibrato, but you can do like all these different like tone colors, right? But you can't necessarily play as many notes as a piano, and then the legato on a guitar is still kind of plucky, right? So you can't necessarily do that either. You can't sustain a note for that long. There's all these little things. And so yeah, so pulling off a monophonic texture is interesting to me. But it seems pretty hard. So, but like right here, by making it kind of like this virtuosic thing, and really kind of having a nice little contour to it, and then all these like kind of like approach tones and just like, or maybe not approach tones, these like little chromatic passing tones, just really give this characteristic piece. Oh, especially right here when it just kind of like winds down. It's like I wouldn't say it's free, but it's very kind of just like shreddy little lick down the neck, and then finally to the E minor chord to bring us back home. So I hope that made sense. I'm trying to understand this one myself. All right, cool. So let's. Oh, awesome! This is actually pretty cool because variation 2, we talked about that we want not necessarily that active of a melody line, but we want a melody line that kind of focuses on maybe like chromatic neighbor tones or something. Oh, I did write this down. This is cool. All right. Hell yeah. But something more like, yeah, this to where the melody is very centric, and then maybe the bass is a little bit more simple. And we can maybe even use the idea of if we find it's like advantageous, or if it's like, it adds to the variation that we're making. We can even have what is it? What did we say? Third voice syncopated to get out of the way of melody. So this might, yeah, this kind of might. I want something a little bit more active than the intermezzo we looked at, but something kind of like it, maybe. We'll see. Also, the Grinch melody is a little bit more active. All right. So, I wonder why it appears like that on your guys' thing. Should I? Oops. Oh, okay. Awesome. Made it a little bit bigger for you guys. So let's see. So sometimes I'm composing or arranging. I think it's best to honestly just throw as much stuff into the wind and then kind of see what it kind of carries. So I'm actually going to get rid of this. If we decide to come back to this, we will. So what I want to do, or my thought process on this, right? And if you guys aren't seeing it, just let me know. So for the second variation, we added a lot of like a lot of the activity was in the accompaniment, right? So we have this melody line, right? And you can hear the Grinch in it. It's not exactly the same, right? But a lot of the activity comes from not the melody, but it comes from the arpeggio accompaniment underneath it. Well, this next one, we kind of want to do the inverse, or is what I want to do is the inverse, where it's like we're gonna have a more active melody and maybe a more chill accompaniment. So instead of starting super simple, like we did with the second species, where we're outlining each, half of the measure, I'm thinking we should start with the original melody and embellish it because we're making it more complex. We're not making it more simple to put something else underneath it. We're making it more complex and then making the things underneath it what's the word? I guess just fit. Yeah. Let's see. Option B. Well, I'm gonna delete this for now. Haha. So, let's see. Okay. Oh, crap. Wait, did we have this one be straight? Yeah, we did. Ah, wait. No, that sounds like the La Cucaracha. We don't want that. Nah, too complex. Yeah. Actually, alright, I'm gonna make it our goal for today that we're gonna try to get the melody line done. And I think that way we won't have to spend too much time on what's underneath. Ooh. So I want C sharp maybe? Ah, no, don't do that. Boo. I'm digging it. What chord did we say that was? G minor? Ooh. Is that right? Ooh, okay. Ooh. Okay. Okay. So I'm actually liking how this is turning out a little bit. I think it's pretty cool so far. So we have. And I'm kind of hearing. Da, da, da. Maybe not chromatic. So, and I think we saw this in the other variations. There's kind of two ways you can go about these little chromatic rundown lines. So what I'm thinking is for measure 36, I kind of almost like the little La Cucaracha kind of motif, like the and it kind of just leads into it, right? Um, it seems like a pretty good little contour. It seems really fun. And but for this one, I'm thinking, the part where it goes. I'm kind of thinking of just having it at the end, kind of. So let's see. No, hold up. Huh. Yeah, so I'm not entirely sure what I'm thinking here, but I kind of like it. So I'm trying to find a way to put it into words. So, um, I think I actually just want this to be. I I might have some chromatic thing. It just depends. So I want this to land on B. Trying to think of a cool way to do that. So let's go ahead and give this a shot. So I want this to be on beat 3. Ooh, and it might be cool because we got a lot of notes in this. Come on, chill. So I'm gonna say B sharp, also known as C. B natural, A sharp. Ooh, no. Almost forgot the key signature. It's fine. A, G sharp, and then G. Natural, chill. Okay, please. All right. Oh, also, mother. I'm going to press save. Also, always make sure you're saving your stuff. Maybe. Okay. Oh. Kind of want like a little bluesy thing right here. I think we can fit it in. I think it might sound better if we leap by 6. And I think we can do it is just by doing a little bit of a bebop thingy. B, there's the, unless it's different. Okay. Oops. Let's see. Ooh, this one's tough. All right, so let's see. Well, let me come up with the 3 notes I want here. So I'm thinking I want this to be D sharp because I want this kind of like a little bluesy. I think that would be like a little cool thing. And actually, we might just transpose all this up an octave too. Actually, we probably will, because like we're gonna have some trouble adding a bass line right here, and we're probably gonna be super simple and use like open strings, or at least something copacetic to like this, because it's gonna be pretty busy. Let's try C. I'm thinking either. No, it can't be C again, because we got to keep the. Ooh. All right, so let's see. So I'm gonna say. Ooh, I need a reference. Okay. Hmm. So what I'm thinking is, so when you're swinging, right, and like actual jazzers probably just completely tear me apart for saying this, but like a basic kind of simple way to swing, because you just want it to be uneven, is you think kind of triplets, right? So like one trip, and you treat that as your eighth note. So since we have the Grinch that swings, you know what I mean? Ba da 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 da. Well, I think it's really cool right here if we can, since we're working with triplets, if we can make the last part of every little triplet that we're making, if we can make that the note that comes and just add a chromatic thing in between. So the last 2 notes of this. Ooh, actually, I might just make this A flat. And then we can do the same here. So C, B, B flat. So the reason why I'm doing that is just, I think it really keeps the melody together, I would say. Yeah, like I'm about to do it right here too. This is actually a pretty cool little, I didn't realize the melody could just have this many possibilities. Alright, and now here's where we're going to start changing stuff up. And we might unbusy some of it. Might find some spots where we like to have it be mellow. So A flat. Ooh, A, G. Let's try G flat. Okay. So we could do like a little chord contrast. So we got to land here because this is really recognizable for the Grinch, right? Mr. Grinch. That part. So we need to maintain that. So I would say doo-doo-doo. So I might like that. Doo-doo-doo-doo-doo. So right here, I just want this all to be, and we keep this. That fits with our little triplet motif that we're doing. And then I want a triplet right here, just a little G. Alright, what does this look like? Yeah. Ooh, okay. That would be maybe. I don't know how I feel about that. All right, so what I'm thinking here. So this other part was pretty simple to get the triplets because it's this part though. So it's pretty easy to add our little triplet motif just by doing. Or oops. Ba-da-da-da-da-da. Nah. And then, but I want to do. Nah. So. Nah. Hold up. Wait, what the hell? Nah. I do want to go down with the fully diminished thing. I want to sequence it. Ooh. Ooh, okay. Wait, no, I'm doing something wrong. Okay. Ooh, do I want? So we had D, now F, probably A flat. Okay. Oh no. Okay, and then now we're gonna have D. And then A flats. Oops, don't really need to write that. Oh, you know what I'm messing up on? Dee, doo, doo. Probably B. Let's see. So, on that, I want the A flat. Say B for now. I want this to be A. So, I don't know if this works out, but we'll give it a try real quick. So, oops, what did my try? So, maybe. Oh, just found it. Just found it. Natural. No, chill. Natural. D. Okay, so I think that is a good way. So. that? No. Ooh. What? I don't know. What sounds better? This? Or going with the motif of leaping up by the sixths. It's like. Oh, that's cool. What was the. Ooh, okay. So, I think we're pretty good for today. It seems. Yeah. It seems like we got a lot to work with on our second variation. Ooh. So I'm just gonna talk a little bit. I know I was kind of quiet when I was doing the composition, but that's because I'm like, it's like a process of figuring out like, what am I doing, or am I just doing random stuff? But no, okay, I like this. So when we were talking about doing this one, let's go back and see what our little sketch was. So we definitely have the entrapment for the melody lines, right? And I think that actually went really well. I didn't realize how well the melody was gonna be, how long, or what is it, how well the melody was gonna get along with this little melodic device, but it actually does really good. Llobet variation 2 or 3 is a model, so we'll go back and look at that in a second. And we haven't added any other voices yet. And honestly, with how consistent this is, unless there's like specific little places to where I want this to be a thinner texture and maybe like a broader texture. So it doesn't need to necessarily be what's the word I'm looking for? It doesn't need to be a thick texture. There's a lot going on. And it would distract from the melody. And I think that as long as we support the melody, but we don't get in its way, I think it'd be really good. I think it'll really stand out. So hold up. Let's go back to Llobet just real quick and see. Try to remember 2 and 3. Oh crap! By 2 and 3 did I mean? I probably meant. Wait, how? I don't see it. So, I mean, if I meant variation 1 by 2, I kind of see it. You know, a little entrapment. Um, I don't know if we're going to be able to pull off that third voice kind of thing. And then if this is the subsequent one, it's not super melody. I mean, maybe this one, just because the bass line is simple and there's little things here and there. Oh, and then the triplets also. But yeah, so pretty much, um, going back to like the original melody, right? So we have these little spots that we want to hit. So I knew I wanted this A, and so I made like just a little chromatic neighbor tone, just to really make it like have that La Cucaracha vibe, the kind of like playful little circusy triplet feeling. Um, yeah, and then just kind of try to meander the melody to where it needs to go. So if you look in measure 3 right here, right, we have a little starting point it gives us, and then in the original variation there's a little counterpoint melody to it, and then it goes on to the fourth. So what we did is we filled in the blanks with the first one, because the bottom part isn't going to be as contrapuntal or as relevant. It's going to be just straight up, it's going to be Bleach. It's going to be top line is Ichigo. Other guys are, I don't remember their names, but yeah, so that's kind of how we went about it. There were some spots that were, I won't say too tricky, but they were a little tricky. So for instance, it's really easy when if you know your scales, right? There's like whole tones and there's half tones in between these notes. Well, when there's whole tones in between these notes, it's really easy to do a little chromatic neighbor tone. All right, so for A, I can go to G sharp and then back to A. And it's got a little characteristic sound to it because G sharp isn't in F major, right? So it's a weird to hear it, and you kind of get that little ornament thing. Whereas one of the, I don't want to say problems, but like one of the little obstacles with that, doing that kind of little motif, you can't always do it when you have, so we had B flat and A, right? Were the original notes. Well, you can't, because they're only a half step apart, so you can't do the half step kind of chromatic neighbor tone thing. So you kind of have to work your way around it. And so I went down, just down by, well, I guess this is actually a second. That's a diminished third, but that's kind of weird to say. So I just went down and I kind of enclosed it on this in a different way. So it wasn't just like a 1-1-7-1 kind of little motif. It was more of like a 1 or a 2-7-1 kind of little motif. So if this is the 2, this is the landing place, right? Whereas if this is the landing place, you got 1-7-1, only 2 notes. This is 3 notes, and these are both surrounding the pitch. So that's kind of how I like to think we got away with that. There are some parts we might change tomorrow, but I think for the most part, this is going to be the top line. Let's see, what's the highest part? Ooh. I wonder what this would sound like if this is. Who? No, it kind of has to all be. I'm wondering. Um, that sounds kind of weird. We might make it like that. So I kind of want this higher, but I don't want it to interfere with the little pit. Oh, and we were saying this was E. Uh, I was so in G something, but the names you were looking for. I was so in G. What was that? What does that mean, James Levi? I was so in G something, but names you were looking for were Rukia, Chad, Orihime, Ryu, maybe. Yeah. Yeah, pretty much all those, also known as Ichigo's buddies. Oh, doing. Okay, I'm dumb. You probably. I was doing something. Oh, okay. Yeah, but I don't know. At least where I got to the. Ooh, think I quit right when he fought. What's his name? He's like Jaws. Ah, crap. Hold up. Um. Who? Grimjaw. Was it Grimjaw? I think it's this dude. Yeah, because he had the little thing on his. Yeah, I got to that part, and then I kind of fell off. It wasn't a bad part. It was getting pretty good, but yeah, Grimjaw. It's getting pretty good, but it was just like I don't know. Or he may kept getting caught, and I was just like, Ichigo, like, why do you even care about this bitch? Just fucking drop her. Um, yeah, I don't know. Wasn't for me. I prefer to wait 900 episodes for my things to happen. So yeah, I don't actually know if I got to the filler. I think I looked up the filler arcs and I just skipped them. But like, I mean, the only one I felt like really any emotional attachment to was Ichigo. Like, I'm gonna level with you. I didn't care. Okay, I just didn't care if Orihime died. I'm just like, it mattered nothing to me. What is his name? Uryu was kind of cool. Um, he was pretty chill. He was all right. I thought it was weird how he just like. Nah, maybe I need to watch it again. No, he was pretty all right. I didn't really care for Chad too much. Um, yeah, Uryu was pretty cool. I didn't really care for Chad. I didn't have anything against him. I thought it was weird. So you know that dude who does like the like bug stuff or whatever, or he like experiments on people. Well, like that's pretty fucking. Yeah, yeah, it's okay. No, 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 no. This needs to be said. So like the bug dude, or whatever. The creepy ass motherfucker who has he has like a 4 year old and his assistant. I mean, I don't know what his face is made out of, but anyways, he's freaky as fuck. Probably should be arrested. Like they're over here, like, and this guy's just like straight up Auschwitz. And then I'm like, oh, cool. Well, like, they found like a pretty corrupt captain or whatever. They're probably gonna, not stand for that. And they just forget about it. And not only do they forget about it, but in like I don't think it was the Espada arc, but like when they go to, what is it, Waco Mundo or whatever, they're just like cool with it now. Like, I mean, I get that he's helping, and like obviously they're not gonna get a beer afterwards or whatever, but like I don't know. They're just like, it was just weird seeing him portrayed as a good guy when he was pretty bad. I don't know, but it's not necessarily bad. Like maybe they do something with him later. IDK. All right. So tomorrow we are going to look at the harmony that we have, and we're going to decide what bass notes we want, and hopefully they're open string, or we're kind of work with that. And then we're just gonna do whole note bass notes for every measure, and then we're gonna see how that goes. And if we get froggy or if something works, then we might do that. We might also do something similar. Maybe this is the variation I meant. Oh, I think I get why now. Maybe. Oh yeah, it was this one for sure. So like just a little short staccato bass note, come up with some kind of cool groove. That way we don't have to be necessarily sustaining everything. This is a nice little technical workaround that I like that he did. Just because like even though it's open E, and it's obviously easy, just let it ring. If this was like C or something and you needed to move around while doing it and you had to have like a little bar, that would be annoying. So the fact that you could do this stuff and then come back to it, I think is a really little quality of life technique thing he put in there. And it sounds cool, it's got it's not just another bass note that's just kind of there, right? It's got a little groove to it. So yeah, tomorrow we're going to finish up with the Llobet variations. We're going to look at the last one, and then we're going to just kind of try to analyze the piece more on a macro level and just be like, okay, well, this is like what this led to. We're going to talk about the intermezzo, what kind of effect that had, especially after we finish the last one. We'll kind of be like, we'll have a better understanding of the climax for it. And then we'll bring some ideas for the climax for our own theme and variations. I'm thinking we'll just do 3 variations, just for time's sake, because obviously we could do like a whole bunch, but and the good thing about theme and variations, right, is you could always add more if you wanted to. So it's like something that you could always come back to. And yeah, so we're going to do that. We're going to sight read some Christmas songs. We're going to jam a little bit. And it should be a good time. So yeah, if you guys want to stop by and say what's up, or I guess talk Bleach, even though, yeah, we can do any of that. So I'll see you guys tomorrow. Have a good day.